Ai ai ai. Nee. Let's go. Let's go. Stay there, stay there, stay there. No. Hey, what are you doing?
Turned away from it all like a blind man. Sat on the fence, but it don't work.
Keep coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn. Insanity loves under pressure, we're breaking.
Can we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love now one more chance? Why can't we give love, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love?
'Cause love's such an old-fashioned word, and love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night, and love dares you to change our way of caring about ourselves. This is our last dance. This is our last dance. This is ourselves. Under pressure. Under pressure. Pressure.
Alright. First we're gonna dive into settings there.
Hard point. Target area confirmed. Get to the hard point.
Oh shit.
Located hard point. Get ready. Target area updated. Move to the hard point. Hostile UAV in the area.
Reloading. What's your back?
Hardpoint relocating. Stand by. Enemy UAV overhead. Location upgraded. Capture the hardpoint. Hostile.
I'm with you.
Enemy UAV active. Hostile UAV in the area. Confirming next hardpoint. Personnel at the hardline online. Hardpoint relocated. Secure the target area.
Grenade! What's that?
Hardpoint compromised. The enemy is gaining ground. Push them back. Hardpoint relocating. Stand by.
Holding.
Enemy UAV overhead. Hardpoint. Enemy UAV active.
Reloading.
Locating the next
What's your
hard
block?
point. Get ready. Quick fix online. Hostile cruise missile launched.
Right, wolf!
Hard point relocated. Secure the target area.
I'm with you.
UAV ready to deploy.
Requesting recon flyover.
Hard point compromised.
Suppressor mine.
Secure the
Set.
area. Hostile SAE near your position. Enemies inside the perimeter. Friendly cruise missile approaching target.
Enemy.
Confirming next hard point. Stand by. Location updated. Capture the hard point. UAV in the area.
What's your block?
Hostile cruise incoming. Enemy personnel at the hard point. Relocating. Stand by. Enemy inside perimeter. Hardpoint relocated. Secure the target area. We're getting hit hard. Hostile SAE incoming. Enemy UAV overhead. Hostile cruise missile launched. Enemy personnel at the hard point. Locating the next hard point. Get ready. Hostiles launched an SAE. Friendly UAV online. Target area updated. Move to the hard point.
Enemy incoming! I'm with you.
Mission failed.
shit.
Return to base.
turn off the benchmark here. We're gonna jump into a game again. This is everything on ultra.
Gunner servicing target. Sable 1, launch SCVs inbound.
Alrighty. Standing by. We have located a prisoner. Moving to extraction.
Enemy in the area! On your 6!
You're not dead yet. Get moving. You've won that round. Get ready for the next one. Prisoner rescue. Strasser 1, secure the prisoners. All movers on target are clear to engage.
Oh shit.
Covering your 6.
There's more fighting. Take it to them. We have secured the prisoner. Move to extraction. Prisoner secure. Extraction is standing by.
Oh fuck, I'm back. It's good. It's good in.
The prisoner is one more to rescue.
Reloading.
We have secured the prisoner. Move to extraction. Victory secure. Be ready to win
Do
again.
everything, man. Go help the other guys, man.
Switching sides. Prisoner rescue. Micah to Strasser 1. Prevent the hardline.
On your 6.
Pin this can.
Changing mag.
The enemy is moving a prisoner. Intercept them. We lost that round. Get ready for the next one. Prisoner rescue. Strasser 1, you have enemy incoming. Keep the prisoner secure.
Got your 6.
Enemy UAV active. Our UAV is orbiting the area. Hostiles launched a cruise missile. You're not dead yet. Get moving.
Changing mag. I'm low on ammo.
1 minute remaining.
I need mags! On your 6.
Mission is complete. Good work.
Guys talking about a mistake. Mistake is you.
The Intel 12th gen CPUs over here have a few different variances of each model. So you can have i7 and there's lots of different ones of it. You have a K version, you have non-K version, KF version, and then there's other versions as well coming out. So how do you know which one should you choose as a creator? When one of the biggest differences or mistakes people can make with the 12th gen is choosing a KF variant of the CPU or just an F. If there is an F in the title of the CPU or in the CPU model of the Intel CPUs, it's not just 12th gen, it's the previous generations as well. What that means is there is no iGPU inside. And if you're a video creator or even photographer or just a creator, then that F for you should be meaning flipping stay away, because don't buy that one. I've seen so many comments where people have said, oh, I went with the KF version of this chip, and I'm like, why would you do that? Because just for example, go check out my 12600K and 12900K review, but the iGPU inside the GPU can give you up to 30 or 40% of performance compared to the KF version without the iGPU. The iGPU inside there is absolutely amazing. And if you're a video creator, and that just doesn't go with 12th gen, if you decide to go with 11th gen, because 11th gen still has a very good iGPU inside there, even though the CPU the performance is very bleh. For video creators, the 11th gen makes quite a lot of sense compared to the 10th gen because it has extra video codec supported for encoding and decoding on the 11th gen compared to the 10th gen. But if you're a video creator and you go with any of the Intel CPUs, don't buy the FKF whatever F. If there's an F in the name, do not buy that, because you're going to lose a lot of performance. And the price difference between the F and the non-F version or K version is only maybe like $50 at maximum or something like that, and that is not worth the price. Honestly, to pay $50, even if you don't need the iGPU, it's amazing. To pay $50 for a graphics card that can support like 2 monitors, 4K monitors, just inside, built into your CPU, why wouldn't you?
The lead is ours.
Or, like I mentioned again,
Changing back!
Hostile UAV in the area. Friendly UAV on station.
Reloading!
Team deathmatch.
Reloading!
Friendly care package in the AO.
Holding. Covering your 6.
Friendly bomb drone is online.
What? Where'd that come from, bro? Oh, shit.
Enemy has the lead.
Friendly UAV
On
online.
your 6.
Enemy UAV active. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV active.
Enemy contact. Your 6.
Friendly cruise missile deployed.
Quick fix online.
Throwing a stun grenade. Enemy in the area.
Off the field. Fight back.
Changing mag.
UAV standing by.
Requesting recon flyover.
Copy that. Hostile UAV in the area. Fuel. RTB at this time.
Changing mag.
Yo.
Yo.
Where are you? You're like, we play him now, bro. It's like almost like midday, bro. What? Up to
Yeah, this is the time when we jump in. It's the fucking weekend, bro.
Hostile war strike in position. Our UAV is orbiting the area. Online.
We've lost the lead.
Planting mine.
Hostiles.
How is it?
Friendly SAE on the way.
Got your back.
Our UAV is orbiting the area. Friendly cruise missile inbound.
Swapping mags.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Setting mine.
Hostile UAV.
Planting mine. Stun grenade. Visual on the enemy. Setting mine.
Hostile cruise missile incoming. Enemy active. Hostile SAE near your position. Hostile cruise missile launched.
We're losing ground. Mission compromised. We're done.
Hey, what are you doing? Gypsy, what are you doing? Okay, it should be not G. Hey. Nay. Oh my god. Sile, hop on. Gypsy, what are you doing? Oh my god.
Search and destroy.
Mao? I need to get off my keyboard. Oh, yeah. Come here. Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
60 seconds left.
Oh my god, you made it windowed. Yeah.
No, just taking a shetty and I'm hopping on, eh?
Yeah.
So you've taken up running.
This two CPUs over here, both i7s. One of them 12700 and one of them 12700K. Now on paper, they look pretty much identical to each other, except the K in the end. But the thing is it worth the price difference? Intel says it's about $20. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, depending on the actual seller. But according to my findings, I found something very interesting when benchmarking these two CPUs. So let's talk.
Looking for a cheap way to license your Windows? Check out WhoKeys through the links in the video description. Make sure to use the code TN20 to get a 30% off. Paste the license to the activation settings and you're all done. This license is for Windows 10, but you can upgrade it to Windows 11 for free. They also offer Microsoft Office 19 license. Use the same code TN20 to get a 30% off. Check out WhoKeys.com in the video description below.
First of all, I want to say a little thanks to CCL Computers here in the UK for providing the 12700K. Now they're not the sponsor of the channel, but still providing me with this part. So thanks very much for sending the 12700K out so I can share the
Domination.
PC cards, videos, or just let them build a PC for you if you're not confident in building it yourself. Check them out in the description below. I'll leave the link for them as well. Thanks very much, guys. So before we run the benchmarks, very important to note the testing setup, because if you have a different testing setup than somebody else on the internet, they might get different findings.
Secure
so my
Bravo.
CPU obviously is 12700 or 12700K, but everything else stays the same in the testing setup.
Bravo
the motherboard
secure.
is Asus Z390A Pro with BIOS version 100. The RAM will is 4 sticks of 16GB DDR5, and it's running at 48 MHz. The cooler is
Securing
Vantex
Alpha.
Corsair 150
Reloading.
Asus TUF RTX 3090. The OS drive is Padilla C440, and the benchmark SSD where all the benchmarks and files are on is the
We control
Seagate
Charlie.
Firecuda 530. The case is
lost
Vantex
Bravo.
P600S, and the side panel is open just so that we're not restricted by the case or the airflow. So it's basically like an open test bench. So then, let's have a look at this side to side if you're not familiar what's 12700K and 12700. Both of them have 12 cores and 20 threads. So there's 8 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. Now, the max turbo frequency on the 12700K is 100 MHz higher. 5 GHz,
The enemy controls 2
12700 is
objectives.
4.9
Get after him.
GHz. The max turbo frequency of the efficiency core on the 12700K is 2 GHz higher, 3.8 GHz, and the 12700 3.6 GHz. The base frequency difference is quite a bit different now. The 12700K runs at 3.6 GHz on base frequency. The 12700 is 2.1 GHz base frequency. That's the performance cores. The efficiency cores base frequency on the 12700K is 2.7 GHz and 1.6
Securing
GHz on
objective
the
Alpha.
12700. As you can see, the base frequency is quite different. The
The
cache
enemy
is the
holds all
same,
objectives.
25
We're
megabytes,
getting
and the
arses
base power or TDP
Alpha
is
secure.
massively different now between those two chips.
Securing Charlie.
12700K is 125 watt TDP, and the 12700 is 65
Objective
watt
Charlie
TDP.
secure.
The turbo power on the 12700 is 180
We're
watts,
losing Alpha.
yet the turbo power on the 12700K is 190 watts. They both have the same iGPU, and the 12700K really, according to Intel, is about $20 more expensive. But sometimes it isn't that much, and the 12700 is more expensive, so I highly recommend you check out the latest pricing in the description below if you want to know what's the latest pricing and which one is more expensive, because it really matters what the price is for each of them, because then you can really decide which one is worth buying. Now the benchmarks, and I want to start with the power draw, because this is the most interesting finding to me what I saw with these CPUs. Usually what happens with the non-K and the K version is that the non-K version is more power efficient, so basically you get more performance per watt out of it because of the lower TDP, and it tries to cool it down, and it's just lower and so on. And that's why you actually get a cooler with the 12700 if you buy the non-K version. Because of the lower TDP, you get, included cooler basically with this, where the K version doesn't come with a cooler. As you can see, you can't put a cooler in here. It's just a tiny little skinny box But when I'm running my Cinebench R23 run, multi-core test, then I can see that the 12700 draws about 20 watts more from the socket than the 12700K. And the minimum power draw is actually lower also on the 12700K at about 11 watts rather than 22 watts on the 12700, which is very interesting for me because in a moment you'll see in the benchmark scores the 12700K most of the time scores higher in almost every single scenario, but the 12700 uses more power, which is interesting. So this is something I didn't expect between these two CPUs, and I'm not quite sure why is this happening. Bear in mind there could be a little bit of silicon lottery, and the 12700 for example has a very high leakage on the voltage of the CPU, so all the cores leak a lot of voltage, and that's why we have to push more voltage through and so on. But this is still quite a bit different than the 12700K. There's 20 watt difference, which is interesting. If you remember on the specs, the 12700K should have been, pulling more power than the 12700. So then, Cinebench R23. The single core is pretty much identical. The 12700K is about 1.8% faster than the 12700, and the multi-core, now this is interesting here, is about 4.3% faster on the 12700K. And as you can see on the previous findings, the 12700K also used less power when making these results, which is just interesting to me. It almost feels like the results are flipped around, and they put the wrong IHS and printed the wrong actual number on the CPUs, because usually it should be the other way around. But the one who uses less power gets lower scores basically. When looking at the Geekbench 5 scores, we can see that the 12700K is 2% faster on the single core scores, roughly about 4% faster on the multi-core, which is really in line with the Cinebench scores as we saw earlier. When testing the iGPU scores on the Geekbench 5, Vulkan and OpenCL scores, then they really perform the same, because it's really the same iGPU. They run the same frequencies, we're using the same RAM, everything, so they're really within the margin of error. But when doing the test, the 12700K interestingly is about 1.3%, 1.27% slower than the 12700, but really I wouldn't consider this as one slower than the other, because they're really the same. So then, looking at Blender benchmarks over here, the 12700K in the monster scene, that's Blender 3.1 by the way, the latest one, is 11.4% faster, which is quite a bit faster. Now interestingly, on the junk shop scene, the 12700K is much lower than the 12700 and about 11.5% slower. On the classroom scene here, the 12700K is about 5% faster. Now some real-world application benchmarks like Photoshop. In here, interestingly, the 12700 is actually faster than 12700K, and the 12700K is roughly about 2.7% slower, which is really, just above the margin of error. And bear in mind, the way I'm doing the test, I'm running the test about 3 times. If the pattern doesn't, appear at 3 tests, then we're running 4 and 5. With these CPUs, we're roughly averaging about 5 or more tests each to really get an accurate reading of what the benchmark result is. So on Photoshop, it does look like the 12700 is faster. On Lightroom Classic, another photo editing application over here, we can see that the overall score is really the same, and there isn't that big of a difference between neither of them. But here we can see a little bit that the passive score is better on the 12700K, and the passive score is basically multi-core utilization and running it longer time, exporting loads of photos and so on. That's where a lot of the cores of the CPU are used, and that really makes sense because the 12700K long-term TDP is a bit lower, so 12700K really shines here, but it's still within 1% of each other, so it could be a margin of error, but that's what I would really expect to happen. But moving on to Premiere Pro and video editing, now the difference is quite a bit different. The 12700K is about 8.7% faster in overall score, that's the extended overall score, or about 6% better in the standard overall score. Interestingly, the extended export score is one of the highest here. You can see 10.5% faster, and the GPU score on the 12700K is much better as well, about 14.5% faster, which is quite a bit more. and even the effects or everything really is much better on the 12700K. The thing that really pulls it down is just the live playback score, which is where we're using different codecs to measure the live playback score. But even here, the standard live playback score is a little bit faster, but the extended score is just, 2.4% slower. But I would expect them both to perform the same. But overall, the 12700K is, between 8 to 10% faster, which is quite a bit faster here. In After Effects, the story isn't as good, but still quite a bit faster on the 12700K side, about 5.4% faster in overall score. The RAM preview also was about 7% faster on the 12700K, but the other ones were a little bit, lower side. In DaVinci Resolve here, the interesting thing is the 12700 wasn't able to complete the benchmark with XMP at 4800, so I had to drop the XMP on both of the chips and then but bear in mind that the 12700K did actually complete it with 800 megahertz, so you get like an extra few percent boost there as well when it's a little bit higher. But the 12700K is 1.8% faster in overall score, extended overall, and about 1.6 in standard overall score, so really no difference here when we're looking at DaVinci Resolve performance. I do think that if you're doing long exports and renders that are very, very long, like you exporting, 20-30 minutes, some kind of projects, then the 12700K is a little bit better just because of the long-term TDP is not like limited by 65 watts. And
the stars you see above you are called Mahutonga, or the Southern Cross. They have always helped the people of Aotearoa find their way, illuminating the way forward. They are the anchor in the sky above us, helping us navigate towards where we want to go.
If you're determined to create a better future, let's find a way.
Make every exam your moment with Chegg. Keep a study partner in your pocket with support customized to your courses, including expert-made practice tests, flashcards, step-by-step solutions, and video breakdowns. Subscribe to Chegg and we'll help guide you from your first day to your final exam. Learn there's no limit to what you can do.
it has to drop down its wattage there. Moving on to V-Ray and CPU rendering in a different way, we can see that the 12700K is 4.3% faster. Now, in conclusion, both of these chips really perform very, very similar. According to my testing, the 12700 and 12700K aren't so different in photo editing applications. Really, they perform very much the same, so if photo editing is your, kind of thing, then there's no point really going with the K version of the chip. But when moving on to video editing, especially in Premiere Pro and After Effects, DaVinci Resolve not so different. Then we can see that 12700K can be 8 to 10% sometimes, or even more faster depending what you do, which is very interesting finding. And also at the same time, when you're doing like long renders, like the V-Ray here as well, you can see that the 12700K is a better option. Interestingly, my 12700K actually runs more efficient than the 12700 or pulls less power, so that's interesting as well. But if the price difference is more than $20, I don't think the 12700K is really worth it over the 12700. And if you're a gamer or not a creator, then you might be saying, hey, but the 12700K is overclockable and you could overclock it. And yeah, as you can see, even my power limits, if I match the power of both of these two chips, then the 12700K would actually be even faster. But the point over here is, I don't think creators, that means like professional people who edit and work on their PC 24/7, well, not 24/7, 8 hours a day or even more, they need reliability more than overclocking. And when doing overclocking, the one thing that you really are going to lose is the stability and reliability. And you're going to spend loads of time trying to find the, you know, optimum setting. But if your computer is the workhorse, then you don't have time to do that. I've got another complete video about whether creators should be overclocking their CPU or not. Go feel free to check that out. But in terms of the performance difference in stock settings, just letting the BIOS optimize and, you know, like do the AI overclocking or just push as much power or performance through these chips as possible, then seeing that this 12700K in general isn't that much better than the 12700. Yet if you are a video editor, I would still recommend the 12700K over the 12700 because it just looks like it is faster, and for $20 to get 10% extra performance, I think it's worth it, especially at that price point. Let me know what you would choose and if it's worth the price. Also, would be very interesting to know that wherever you're located, let me know in the comment section below what's the price difference between those two chips, because sometimes I've seen the 12700 more expensive than the 12700K, like here in the UK in some of the shops, which is just mind-boggling to me. Just let me know what the price difference is in your country in the comments below. Thanks guys for watching. Likes if you enjoyed it, subs if you'd like to see more, and if you want to pick any of those up or check the latest pricing in your country, the links are in the description below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
To all of us. To all of us. Cheers. Cheers.
Come with me, my love, to the sea.
I want you to be my wife.
Sea of love. I wanna tell you how much.
Yeah, I'm bad. Hope you're gone.
Yeah, come.
Unify motherboard i12-700K, which is the Core i7 12700K, and I included figures for all three processors in my charts at the time. And you may have wondered what happened to my review of the Core i7 12700K, the processor that is in this very test bench, the MSI Z390 Unify. Well, I hit one or two small delays that
Hold up. Pura.
What's he run up to? Wait, what?
Hey.
Hey. End up two?
Come on, Baba.
Oh shit, cause what? Didn't it come out like yesterday? Oh, I mean today.
Came out yesterday. 28th.
Sent me down a couple of blind alleys before I returned to the middle road. Now the day is arrived. I need to make a classic shit. The Core i7 12700K. In the interim, I've received this from Intel, which frankly has no place in my life, and I can't justify a separate video about it, so I'm going to show it to you for a few seconds. This piece of A4 paper, double-sided, and this paperweight, perhaps, is to do the Intel 4004 processor from 50 years ago, to show how Intel has come on leaps and bounds from this to these. And quite frankly, that's all I have to say on the subject. Yes, Intel, you've made advances in 50 years, and jolly well done. So returning to Intel 12th Gen, when I reviewed these processors, I used this Corsair Vengeance DDR5 memory, which is rated at 5200 mega transfers. It has latency 38, and in the course of the review I said on this MSI Unify motherboard I had to set the XMP voltage manually. It was correctly detected as requiring 1.25 volts, but it didn't actually run properly or stably. But when I punched in 1.25 it was absolutely fine, which is a curious old thing. And G.Skill sent us this Ripjaws S5 memory. It runs on Micron integrated circuits. However, the latency of the G.Skill memory is slightly slower at 40 rather than 38 for the Corsair. However, the G.Skill runs on 1.1 volts.
Yeah, just making my class.
It did 5. However, most of my testing was done with the Corsair Vengeance for the obvious reason. Let us take a quick tour around the BIOS, which will appear familiar if you watched either McCoy.
The Philly cheesesteak, Big Angus.
What are these fucking perks? Ooh.
No. Lux. Siapa? Hey. No.
Good to hear, Ahmed.
Yeah, hold up.
Yeah, Ahmed.
Do you guys have space for MW too or nah? Zane.
Yo, I do, but
What about Niku?
yeah, I think.
Oh.
They'll probably have to delete him. Zane has a 1 terabyte, eh?
Yo.
The kills 1, eh? That's needs space, eh?
Yeah, bro.
Why is it frozen, Ahmed?
I don't know, mine's going, bro. Shetty
Static.
PS4. Shetty PS4. Hold up, I'll cancel, hold up. I'll pull us up. I'll go in again, hold up. Yeah. Going in again.
Hold up, I'm backed out.
You in?
Yeah.
Did you leave? Did you leave?
Yeah.
Why did you tell me? That's probably why we're not going in. Mao, Ma. Get off the keyboard, Ma.
Which mouse on the keyboard?
Hold on, let me know when you're back in. Yeah, fuck, she starts walking all over.
Which one?
Ah, Gypsy. Nala doesn't even come on my disk, she's all good. It's Gypsy that's like out the gate.
Naughty mouse. Bro, these two are just having a scrap right now, dude. Well, freaking things looking at them.
Hello?
Oh my god.
Kill confirmed. We have the lead. Taking fire!
Loading.
I'm with you.
Oh.
We've lost the lead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Got your area. Swapping back.
Setting mine.
Hey,
Friendly UAV on station. We have secured the lead. The enemy has the lead.
I'm reloading.
We have the lead. Hostile UAV in the area.